Radio is on.
Let me know. Yeah.
Radio TV is going on. 1-0. You're online now. Okay, gentlemen, please, we are now on air. Both radio and TV. Excuse me. So, gentlemen, we are once again on air. We are here this evening to discuss with all of you issues, matters that concern us. Don't forget that we are right now broadcasting to you from the studios of the Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority Television. From the city of Munich, Germany, we are live with you. Right here with me in the studio is Tony Moneke. Tony is a vibrant member of the vobi BBA crew, and he is always here with us to make his own wonderful contributions in the affairs of Biafra land. Of course, his contributions are quite well known, embodying, as you may say, a lot of wisdom. At any time we listen to him, we enrich our knowledge. This evening, Sunday, the 10th of February 2019, he is with us once again in the studio to air his own views on matters Biafra. Tony, you are welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, moderator. And thank you, viewers.
Also with us in the studio, but from distances away, are Shoni Emmanuel Mwabisi is right now joining us from the seat of power, Biafra land, Owerri. Shoni, you are welcome also.
Thank you, Brother Ikenna, and may God bless each and every one of us as we are here today to discuss a better issue.
Thank you so much. I also welcome Jude Chijoke, who is joining us from Lagos, the commercial city of Nigeria. Jude, you are also welcome to our program. If Jude is not there listening, let me move down from there to Benue State Makurdi, where Uchenna Okeke is in command. Uchenna Okeke, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much to you, moderator. I want to appreciate and welcome everybody now to the program.
Thank you very much, Uchenna. Now, from Benue State, let us move down to Japan, where Chezena Udeze is joining us, let me say for the first time since this year, due to numerous activities. We are happy to be with him once again and to give him a warm welcome. Chezena Udeze, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for letting me know. Happy New Year to everybody.
Chezena, raise your voice a bit so that our listeners will hear you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Kenan. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy to join you today. Thank you to everybody who are listening to us. God bless you all. Amen.
Thank you very much, Chezena Udeze. So, fellow compatriots, I am Ikenna Obibiagono, your regular moderator. So, for some time, everybody is aware, a lot of activities, flurry as you may call it, have been taking place, not just in Biafra land, but in the whole of Nigeria, which we are still part and parcel of, whether anybody likes it or not. Now, presently, it has to do with politics, elections, both the presidential and the senatorial, which come up this 16th of February, and in the early March, the gubernatorial and House of Assembly. Now, Since these particular emotions are overwhelming us, let me call it electioneering fever. Some people have gone on air, some have taken demonstrations on the streets, in marketplaces, even carrying their malady up to churches to register their disenchantments, their bitterness, their disapproval of this particular election, indirectly anyway, campaigning for somebody. Now, why some people are saying there will be no election? Don't worry, we have discussed this some days back. We are still discussing it today by way of emphasis, subject to people's demand. Now, some people are saying, no, there will be no election. And they are hell bent on that, calling out their members to stay at home on this particular day. Not just to stay at home, but they say they are conducting a referendum. Come on. One begins to wonder, what type of referendum could be conducted in a country that has his or her presidential election on that particular day? Who and who are going to be involved in the referendum? What logistics are in place? What contributions are the core Nigerians making? Because it must be an agreement, constitutionally agreed. Do we have the consent of the international community, the United Nations, the African Union, the ECOWAS, and of course some notable countries like America, England, Germany, France, and a lot more? Do we have their consent? Have they said anything about this? Where are the PVCs we are going to use to vote in the referendum? Where are the constituencies? Where are the boxes? Where are the papers, ballot papers? What of our brothers and sisters in the South zone? Are they aware of it all? Or are you talking about Biafra only on one section, leaving the other side of the divide? At the end of the day, we begin from square one. What arrangements have you put in place for you to talk about a referendum? We continue to tell our people that a referendum is not a tale by moonlight. No, it's not something you just come out and begin to brief children during the moonlight nights to entertain their or regard their beings. No, it involves a lot. It takes a lot of billions to conduct. It takes a lot of sensitization, mobilization, from house to house, kindred to kindred, village to village, community to community, local government to local government, and then the entire Biafran landscape. Get everybody involved, get them convinced, make sure there is no mistake, because any mistake can cost us infinity. Have you put all this in place? No. Now somebody is somewhere telling OES members in quote, what they want to hear. You stay at home and be counted. The person that is asking you to stay at home and be counted, where is he? Why can't he and his own colleagues over there come back to Biafra land, stay at home and also be counted? Are they going to count those in abroad as well? Those in diaspora? No. Nigeria has not developed to that extent to use electronic system to capture the votes of everybody around the world like the Americans will do. We are still using the crude method. So those people in diaspora, be they in Germany, in Asia, in anywhere, if you are talking to your people about referendum, come back home, be part of the whole system. But when you are not there, cruising, regaling in the gardens of Europe and the America and what have you, you are telling some people to stay at home and do what? You are creating more problems for them. Because whether you like it or not, there must be election, there must be government. Now, after you have stayed at home and Buhari comes into power once again, you begin to repeat the equation of 97 to 5%. what will be your fate? Considering the fact that this is going to be his own second term, he owes nobody any obligation. He is now free to do whatever he likes because he's not contemplating coming for second term anymore. He is now to do whatever he likes. If he decides to marginalize you, like it is obvious right now, what are you going to do? You voted for him partially 2015. Now you didn't vote for him. What will be your fate? This is why we are saying there is nothing like a referendum in Biafra land at this point in time. Let this message get into your heads. Nothing like referendum. Anybody telling you that is a command, we make bold to say it. But must you continue to believe everything you hear? We are here to give you the message of peace. Biafra is not conducting any referendum. If a particular group, the IPOB, decides to ask their members to stay at home, it's a protest. It's a mere protest. They are free to stay at home, but then that is where it will end. Any attempt, of course, they're not talking about coming out to the streets, but then these are the people. These are the people that have been in the front line of Biafra agitation, saying that no Biafra, nothing. How come that they are not demonstrating and the Nigerian police is giving them protection? That is to say, there is something they know we do not know. There is something their leadership knows which we do not know. In other words, they must have signed the agreement with the Nigerian government to sell off Biafra. That is absolute. Who are we going to trust? After all the noise making, after all the clamorings, after all the cacophony, everything is now ending just like that. After giving the impression of immediate Biafra, Somalizing Nigeria, tell me what? In a situation in a game where many people died, sacrificing their lives for the sake of Biafra. Now, at the end of the day, somebody is coming out now to indirectly vote for Buhari. The issue of Jubril was a concoction meant to deceive the gullible. We quite understand the language. Nothing like Jubril, but it was said, echoed, to give the impression that Buhari is their own enemy, when indeed they dying and dying day by day. Now, after giving this impression, few days to go, it's no more Jubril. It is now Atiku is from Cameroon. And so what? I made a post to tell our people, let us understand political affairs as well as the international affairs. Be it a referendum, in whatever you call it. If you have stayed in a country for several number of years, you possess the country's national passport, automatically you become the country citizen and you are entitled to certain rights. You might not contest as the case may be, but in the case of Atiku, one-time Nigerian vice president for 8 good years. Okay, there was a referendum far back 1961. Okay, then it was agreed. After all, Southern Cameroon was part of Eastern region. That is true. Southern Cameroon was part of Eastern region. Are we going to say now Southern Cameroon are no longer Cameroonians? They are now Biafrans? Let us be reasonable to ourselves.
What really happened at that time was that,
yes.
Where Atiku comes
Please,
from.
let's have a
What really happened in this situation, where Atiku come from, was part of Southern Cameroon. Then after their referendum, they became part of Nigeria. The moment Cameroon had their independence.
That was it.
So you cannot tell me that the vice president is a Cameroonian.
No.
It is not done.
It's not done. He's not from Cameroon. He is a Nigerian, a core Nigerian. Look, don't misunderstand us, gentlemen viewers. We are not here to campaign for anybody, but we want to put records straight. We want to disabuse their minds so that they wouldn't go and stay at home because of hatred for Atiku and P2B, and then you allow Buhari to say through. It's going to be very, very disastrous for us. So, take it or leave it. This man is a Nigerian.
Let them try and be a good history students and let them go back to how that area became part of
Nigeria. Exactly.
So they should be very good in history.
That is true. Southern Cameroon was part of Eastern region. It is allowed when you decide where you belong. After all, where does Obama come from? His father is a Kenyan, his mother an American. We are in a world where we follow paternal lineage. And that is true. So, when we think of paternal lineage, he's a Kenyan. But here in America, the most powerful country in the world.
But his own case is quite different. It was not even half and half. It is a situation where part of a country, former country of this country, changed to the other country.
Yes.
So, I mean,
and became part of it, inculcated.
It's not questionable.
Became part of it, harmonized.
So anybody who uses that,
it's,
as a
honestly,
it's not being.
It's not a yardstick at all. So we have to put record straight. So
the record has to be straight.
Anyway, I think the IPOB leadership chooses its own audience. They know the people they can talk to, they can convince. That is why it is so. So we are telling our people, let nobody be fooled. Let nobody be fooled. Very soon now, when you see somebody on the road, you say, I heard they're from Nigeria. Of course, it has become a kind of joke now. What is it all about? So, this man was once Nigeria's vice president for 8 good years.
There were so many people from Futajelo that are part of Nigeria today.
Of course.
So many people from Chad.
Even in Yoruba area, so they are from Togo, so they are from Dahomey. That is true.
We are part of Nigeria, but today they are part of Togo.
Are you telling me what?
So I don't see any.
It's just like if you go to Ijo area now. If you go to Ijo area, many of them are Igbos.
Yeah, of course. I don't see any yardstick.
There's no yardstick in it, honestly. It's just making much ado about nothing. It's just making much ado about nothing.
I think
there's nothing in it.
They have exhausted all their
exactly. You got it. But you see, the men in power don't take them serious. We are saying this to make sure that our people vote on the state.
I think anybody who does not believe the fact that bim-massob is the only leading candidate and the only leading group that can fight for Biafra is just deceiving.
Of course, we don't need to contest it. It is everywhere, and the handwritings are on the wall. Only the bim-massob group, led by His Excellency Chief Dr. Afo Wazirike, can give us Biafra. I repeat, only the bim-massob group, led by His Excellency Chief Dr. Afo Wazirike, can give us Biafra. No other group.
Yeah, because if you look at the antecedents of this people, you will see the difference. I mean, the difference is clear. This is somebody, even the IPOB.
Gentlemen online, you are free to chip in your own contribution anytime. Don't wait until I call your name.
Even if you look at the formation of IPOB, the leadership of IPOB, if it was not Wazirike, the leadership of IPOB would not have been in existence. All these people you see today that are different groups that are coming out and agitating for Biafra, if it is not from Wazirike, most of them cannot be in existence.
That is true.
And then I want to let people to realize one particular thing. You see, when you want to agitate for something, maybe you are pulling out from your particular group, maybe there is an interest that you want to protect. Otherwise, I don't see any reason why you should pull out when you see the truth.
Yes.
That is on the line.
Yeah.
But if you look at it very, very critically, you see that some people are benefiting.
Of course.
And then because they are benefiting, they don't want to lose that track. Otherwise, the truth shall be told. And I'm also trying to let our mothers and fathers and those in the villages and those who are not, opportune, to be educated, on the issue of, Biafra, to know that whatever they are getting from any other group that is not bim-massob, or under Owazurike, that is deceitful. They should be very careful about how they follow these people. That is my own take on that.
Yeah, that is true. Happily enough, our people have come to the full realization that only the bim-massob group led by Chief Dr. Wazirike is very sincere and can give us Biafra. Remember, a week to two ago, to three anyway, I was in Biafra land and I went to here and there. I discovered indeed that only the bim-massob group is on ground, is functioning, is planning seriously on Biafra independence. The rest are political agents, agents of politicians, attending political meetings, collecting gratis and what have you. I came to this conclusion because I had a series of meetings with some politicians who wanted to see His Excellency, Chief Dr. Wazirike. But at the end of the day, he said no. He wouldn't have anything to do with the Nigerian politicians. That he's not a politician and cannot mix up Biafra with Nigerian politics. He made it clear and he stood his ground. And I believed him. From Oka to Newi, when I mentioned Newi, I don't mean you, please. I'm talking of those of them who say they are running customary government or what have you. All of them are agents of politicians. Agents of politicians. They are looking for something that will that go into their mouths. What former governor of Ekiti State will call stomach infrastructure. So why do we deceive ourselves? Biafra, using Biafra to just to do whatever you like. No visible structures on ground except the bim-massob family.
Moderator, how do you expect that February 16, when the election is going on, people will be talking about referendum? People will be talking about referendum. Don't you look at manipulation? It is not possible to have this type of, these two type of elections running parallel.
It's not possible.
It is not possible.
It's not possible.
Do you know the logistics that is involved in conducting a referendum for a state to have independence? It is not possible. And then let me tell people now, let them just know this categorically clear, that Biafra is not only the Igbo-speaking people.
At all.
When you talk about Biafra is crossed across the strata of all the southeast and south-south. Therefore, for us to do anything, we have to have the concept of all Biafrans. So I don't see how this referendum will take place. Who are the people conducting this?
Let me continue. Last time I described this referendum scam vis-a-vis presidential election to be just like in a given family.
It is a complete scam.
You are having a marriage ceremony. You are also conducting a funeral ceremony. So how does it work? It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
You are having marriage ceremony. You are burying somebody, the same family, the same day. It doesn't work.
You cannot add up.
Let us be honest to ourselves. It doesn't work.
We have to tell ourselves the truth.
Yeah, gentlemen online with us, you are free to chip in and make your own contributions. It doesn't work that way. Let us reason. Na n'ofu ezi mmadụ nwụrụ ebe ahụ a na-egwe ala ebe a ga-eli ya. Onye ahụ nwụrụ nne nwanne ya nwoke na ebe ahụ na-eme marriage. Ndị ebe anyị gwara nwaanyị eziokwu okwu omume. It doesn't happen.
Are you hearing us?
I'm saying anybody is free to make
Are you hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You understand what we are talking about? Do you have anything to chip in there?
Yes, please, I want to say something, especially on the issue of Atiku, where they are ranting about where he came from, where he didn't come from. I want to clear our people very well in that area, so that those who want to understand will understand, and those who want to insist, let them insist. have to keep on educating them. Just for example, if Biafrans come up tomorrow with referendum and got their freedom, someone can never come up tomorrow and say that, for example, and say that it was really is a Nigerian because he was once a Nigerian before achieving his
typically true.
freedom.
You are on the line.
So that's what I want our people to understand.
Very, very correct.
If Biafra come tomorrow, they have no right to call any Biafran in Nigeria anymore. Because from the day we achieve Biafra, all of us 100% become Biafra.
Yes.
Exactly.
We choose it. Again, even, let me take myself as an example. Let me take my kids as example. If my son grew up to 18 or 20 years and decided to choose Japan as his nationality,
Yes.
or to choose Biafra or Nigeria as his nationality, you have no right to address him as, if he chooses Japan as his nationality, you have no right to address him as a Nigerian or as a Biafra if you have gotten Biafra then.
Echezana, please, let me just chip in one thing here before you continue. Let us just take the issue of Britain, for example. There are so many people who are in the House of Commons and then Parliament. Some of them are not from Britain. But they are all, some of them are from African countries. But today they are representing a lot of constituencies.
Of course, there is a senator in Italy now.
And so I don't see how.
Yeah, go on,
how this thing can add up.
Yeah, go on.
So go on. Thank you very much.
So what am I trying to say? If you force my son to be called a Nigerian, why he has chosen by himself what to be, he can sue you to any court and you are going to pay a lot.
Of course.
Because you are trying to tarnish his image. So what am I trying to let our people understand here? This issue of Jubril, article this, article that, just simply means that this young man and co has run out of, let me not say run out of idea, because they have no idea from the first stage.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, they have no idea, they have no plan. They're just using it to,
exploit and extort people.
To hold those people that they have brainwashed, to still hold them, to ransom them. This issue of boycott election or not boycott election of the team, they're just saying whatever they like for them to believe. Because they took, I was once, not even IPOB member, because then we're not IPOB, we were called Biafra family under the of Biafra. I was once part of them before I find out that everything is all about game. I was the reason why they push people to take oath, to make sure they hold them very tight, to make sure that they dominate them. Because I started speaking the truth, I started attacking them on the issue. They bring anything they write to us for us to do without asking questions. When you ask questions, you become a saboteur, you become a betrayer. So at a point, I find out very clear that Radio Biafra was built by Nigerian government to destroy the struggle, to tarnish the image of the struggle. It was built to destroy Owazirika and Massob first. That's their first line of plan. Their plan is to put down Owazirika, destroy Massob, and make sure that everything collapses. That's why Bim came in when they tried to use Uchenna and Mad as Massob member to destroy the whole struggle. But Owazirika being someone who was sent by God, who God has given wisdom and knowledge to handle issues, attach that being, that destroyed the image.
But if you can look at, just look at the antecedents of these people, then that will tell them that there is no comparison.
There's no comparison. Yeah. We agree. There's no comparison.
Yeah, right. This is the same thing they did in stealing IPOB from MKCP and Co.
Yes.
I told you before, the name we used to start this group is Biafra family under the real Biafra. Biafra family in Japan under the real Biafra. Biafra family in Germany under the real Biafra. Until they stole this name in 2014, now came up and told us about this name without anybody asking questions. When you ask questions, they'll ask you to shut up. It was because of me also after I find out what they brought up the satanic front, the strategy they call command and control.
Yeah, because they are very crude in their
actions. Please, hold on. Hold on. Let me give you information. Charles Udechukwu is saying he is watching this particular program, but he doesn't know where it's coming from. Charles Udechukwu, we are right now in the studios of the Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority from the city of Munich, Germany. We are here discussing issues. And please, HSA, before you continue, let me take the opportunity and welcome our people online. Tony Ofo, we welcome you. You are always with us. Fidelis Ozioko, you are welcome. Nicholas Uzoma, Ezenwa Uchenna, you are welcome. Patrick Uwezoke, we welcome you. Sadomi Wachuku, Ima Oriako, we welcome you. Chimezie Ibenji, Oriko Garanya, Levinus, we also welcome you. Innocent Young, all of you are online with us. Emmanuel Chikezie, John Nkwoma Onogo, who is always there with us. Nicholas Ozoma, thank you. You say you are hearing us. Michael, okay. Charles Udechukwu, I have just replied you now. Osita Obidinu, Chibueze Oda, Joseph Oniwu, okay, Olisebo, John, of course, okay, John, you are there. Ibekwe, Honor is you are there. Michael says watching with us, the people, the thanks the bim-massob family and the Biafrans worldwide. Peter Onoha, we welcome you. Of course, Sonny is right here with us in the studio, but from the seat of power. Frank Genesis, we welcome you. Chukwu de Santos. Alfred Emel, we welcome you. Chihiro Chuks. Kennedy Kanayo. Frank Okoro, we welcome you. Emmanuel Mwadikwe. Gentle Joe. Onyekachi Orisakwe. Kevin Ogiji. Onyeka Martins. Abojule Dimehin. Obinna Everest. Anthony Telechukwu. Nancy Uzodimma. We welcome all of you. I will keep on mentioning you as the screen shows me your names. Welcome all of you from the studios, Voice of Biafra International and the BBA. We are broadcasting to you live on issues concerning you and me and Biafrans generally. HS, over to you again. I'll make you brief because others are waiting.
Yeah, so they come up with the issue of command and control. Just to command our brain, control our mind, and control everything about us. We need to control us to betray and sabotage Biafra as well as they are doing. So that's where my problem with them starts. I start telling them the truth. So my dear people, what I want you to understand now is that the issue of boycotting an election or sit at home or whatever you are doing it as a saboteur. You are sabotaging your freedom, you are betraying your freedom by yourself. There's nothing to sit at home for. All of these things are planned to campaign for...
To destabilize Biafra and campaign for Buhari. That is true.
Campaign for Buhari and for the APC to make sure that they win. Nobody is coming to count you as you sit down at home. Nobody is coming at all. No international community is coming. They tell you that the international community are here already waiting to count you to give you freedom. Why the same international community was there when 3.5 million was killed? They did nothing. They said nothing. They were there when they are killing our people. Even during the Trump rally, they killed over 20 Igbo youths who went out to campaign to celebrate Trump.
And as we are saying this, they have forgotten too that during this election, so the international organization are coming to
to monitor.
This election.
That's what we are saying.
So how can they monitor the election and at the same time
monitoring the referendum? That is the question.
And these are from the group that is authorized worldwide to monitor every election in Africa.
No, so we are telling them already. We know Biafra. We know what Biafrans want. We know who the Biafran leader is. If you're in doubt, if you don't know yet, go to Google, go to Wikipedia, and enter the Biafran president.
And that is,
and they see whose name would appear. And who would be the one to tell you? Just like a leader will tell you, go to Google and consult. And he made it clear to you that anything Google, Wikipedia tells you is true. That's authentic information. Then go to the same Google, go to Wikipedia, and enter Biafran president or enter Dr. Wazike and see what they will tell you. And that is it. So what are we contesting again? Any other person is playing a subordinate role. You were once part and parcel of the bim-massob family due to inordinate ambition, the desire to enrich yourself, to have your own group where you are going to be the supremo. That is why you became insubordinate for people to say, we have come to a conclusion. And now everybody is coming back to the beginning. And that's how it's going to begin. No two ways about it.
The issue is that they are moving with illiterate who cannot go.
Exactly.
Don't know anything about.
You are very much right.
Exactly.
Let me just don't put it into that area of illiteracy. I think that those people that they are vulnerable and then they lack the information, about what is happening.
That's because why they illiterate about that information.
Yes. Nobody has.
I'm not saying that they don't go to school.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because we even have illiterate professors. Yeah, you are very much right.
That is true.
What I'm trying to say in effect is that the earlier we start sensitizing them, the better for them, and let them just see the true handwriting on the wall. Those who are being exploited.
Excuse me, Mr. Tony, before I forgot this.
Go on.
What I read yesterday from IPOB member, for people to understand that these people have damaged a lot of things, unfortunately damaged. One of them wrote yesterday that the idiots, he said that the idiots who are saying that they want to vote for Atiku, that those idiots have forgotten that Umar is an Igbo man, and now they want to vote for Atiku. I was so angry and asked him, you yourself, you boycotted the election 100%. You don't want to vote at all. And now you are remembering that Umar is from Igbo land.
The B2B is not from Igbo land. That's
the point.
They don't have brain.
They are confused.
They don't have brain.
They don't have brain.
They are confused. They are confused.
The level of damage they are going.
The earlier they start realizing
now,
what they are doing.
If they know that Umar is from Igbo land, why didn't Nnamdi Kanu ask them to vote for that Umar?
Why boycotting the election?
Now you boycotted the election 100%, and now you are accusing someone who has PVC, who is ready to vote for someone who he feels that he trusts.
But then, excuse me, are they really boycotting the election? They have given their boss instruction to vote for. No, it was the senator.
Kanu.
Abaribe.
Okay.
They are campaigning for Abaribe seriously right now.
Abaribe,
they are campaigning for him. You see, inconsistency.
But I am not.
Inconsistent.
But I don't have anything.
We are not against it. We are not against it.
Abaribe is also a good senator.
Yes.
And then he's very, very outspoken.
Exactly. We love him.
I love him. I don't have anything wrong about him. But you cannot say, let me just put this point clear. You cannot tell us to boycott election and at the same time telling us to vote for one particular person. It makes nonsense of the entire thing.
Yeah, of course.
It is stupid, to tell me not to boycott an election and at the same time I should vote for this person.
Yeah, that is true.
That's where Igbo people say that you don't say that you don't eat rat meat, and when children are fighting over it, you use your teeth to bite it and share it with them.
Yeah.
That's the area.
Yeah.
You don't want to vote, and when it comes to Abaribe, you want to support him maybe because you are playing one politics with him.
It is nonsensical.
We are not against any group that is supporting any candidate.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
please, hold on. Hold on, please. Let me welcome Dr. Ejirika from the States of America. Doctor, you're welcome, sir. Yeah, excuse me, sir. I can't hear you. Let me see if I'm well connected. Take it again, sir. No, wait, please. I'm trying to raise the volume of this so that we can hear you. Just hold on, sir. Let me connect you very, very well. Can you hear us now? Wait, just wait. We can't hear you. I want trying to connect you very well so that we can hear you on. Okay, you can hear us now, sir. No, wait, let me disconnect something, and because there are two systems using the particular distance. Okay, so I'm trying to put it on the speaker so that we can hear you very well. Yeah, wait, sir. While others are talking, let me connect you very well.
So can I continue
Yes,
talking?
Yeah, go on,
Go on, HSM.
So as I was saying, if they decided to support Buhari APC openly, we don't have problem with that because it's their fundamental human right to support whoever they choose.
You are
Yes.
very much right.
But then they should allow others to.
Okay, sir. You can hear me now, sir. Okay. Let me put on another speaker because this is very.
That is politics. If you want to support anybody, you support him for your own reason. But you don't have any right to push other people on what to do.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, sir. We now welcome you officially. I think we can hear you better now.
Yeah, good day, all Biafrans, wherever you are.
Thank you, sir.
This is Peter Ejirika,
Yes, sir.
from Fort Hood, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. So we are here discussing issues. You know, there is a divided house in Biafra land to vote or not to vote. But we are here stating the obvious that assuming anybody will talk of no vote is a different thing. But to talk of referendum on a given day where Nigeria is conducting presidential election, knowing full well that referendum is something that embraces both the mother country and the outgoing country, there must be a consensus. And there is no possibility in any civilized clime where referendum can take place the same day presidential election is taking place. It's practically impossible. We have to consult political scientists. So this is what we are saying, that if anybody is saying election boycott or just like the United States, we don't have to conduct election at all, then it's a different thing. But to talk of referendum on the same date, we find it unacceptable and very, very absurd. This is what we are discussing here, sir.
Yeah, thank you, moderator Ejirika. If you permit me to speak.
Yeah, go on, sir. We hear our views.
Okay. Thank you, all Biafrans, wherever you are. See the problem, Biafrans. You all think the war ended. The war, what ended was the station of hostilities, shooting with gun. We've been in Cold War with Nigeria since 1970, January 6th. Whatever anybody can do to Nigeria, but don't take blood to put them in confusion, do it and do it well. I used to have Dr. Mabosa, who's a computer wizard. She said she will wreck Nigerian system. I told her, go ahead and do it. Whatever anybody, so situating the referendum and the election, they know if the person making that plan has a strategy in mind. The strategy is to inflict maximum damage to the enemy. No referendum is going to take place there. Nnamdi Kanu knows that. His officers or management knows that. But we want to help Nigeria not their pocketbook, hurt their mentality, send them to hospital as much as we can. So that is what they are doing. Nobody is holding any referendum on that day.
Exactly.
But what we are trying to do, and the Daura,
Okay.
Osibanjo, and Obasanjo on.
Exactly.
To hospital, mental hospital.
Let them go. Now, excuse me, sir.
Let us not question the morality.
Now, excuse me, sir. You know, there's something you said.
Yeah, go ahead.
To do it and do it well. Let us see that clause. Doing it well. Now, assuming this particular group came out from the word goal to say, let the entire Biafrans, let the whole of Igbos and South, everybody within the old Eastern region, let us hold a series of meetings and take a decision, just like Tony Nadi has been saying. Now we come to a consensus, and once we take a decision, we carry it out, and it's going to hurt the Nigerian government. But to wake up a week or two to the election without consulting anybody, you say no election. When people have made preparations for that, how does it work in a system that is quite democratic? This is what this is our own contention. So we are saying, if we have to do anything, let it be all-embracing, all-encompassing, so that it will have effect. But in a situation where it doesn't all go well at all, this is our own issue, the issue in contention.
And then again, I want to.
You are right, 100%
yes,
right.
I want to come back to what you have just said. You made a statement and said, hello, sir.
Yeah,
you made a statement and said, we were defeated on a battleground, but we were not defeated ideologically. And that was why, when Dr. Raf was who is also our leader today, reignited this thing in 2000, everybody should have, at the time when everybody has already forgotten that we fought war. And then that ideological impact that was created immediately after the war was reignited. And today, so many people cannot understand or see reason why the same person brought back this,
exactly.
idea.
So, sir, before you come in, let me say something. You know, for some time now, you have been in the front line in this our Biafra agitation. And we must say, if any other Biafran diaspora is acting like you, by now we would have gone far. I know certainly the efforts you have been making to make sure you bring Bruce Fine to our studio to talk to Biafrans. You have spoken to people over there. You have written series of emails, messages to them. They are not responding. And this is one of the things that bring us back. Other countries, nations that are angling for their own independence, their diaspora citizens are always up and doing, contacting, creating situations to make sure the world has them. But where are our people? Everybody is feeling quite reluctant, I don't care attitude. So this is one of the things we are saying. Assuming now in this issue of stay at home or referendum, we have the contributions of the diaspora Biafra. I think the thing we have weight. Definitely is going to have weight. But in a situation where there is mistrust, misgiving from somewhere, who are we going to convince? More especially when the person started from the issue of war down to it appears confusing. This is what we are talking here, sir. Over to you. Don't forget our listeners. Don't forget, please, our listeners. Talking with us right now is Dr. Peter Ejirika, a senior lecturer in one of the American universities. He's now addressing us right away from the States of America. Sir, over to you once again.
Yeah, thank you for all this discussion. It's good that we have a platform where we have to air our differences. You all know, everybody's aware, or if you are not aware, there are three types of Biafrans, three types of Africans. This type of these Africans could be classified as follows. There's an African who sees a bridge ahead. Before he gets to the bridge is 1 mile in front of him, but he sees it from 1 mile distance. That is Biafran A. Then there is Biafran B, who wouldn't see the bridge until he gets to the bridge. Then he says, oh, I just passed the bridge. That is Biafran B. Then there is Biafran C, who would not see the bridge at all. He will pass the bridge and said, hey, where is the bridge? And I didn't see any bridge. So these are the three types of Biafran human beings we have. Some of us, I could say, we see the danger. We know houses have planned to kill us.
Exactly.
That was the reason for the January 1966 coup. But the reason came out late. Nobody had the gall to say it in 1970 or 71 or 72. Because we just knew about it. Then these other Biafrans would only see the bridge when they get to the bridge. These are the people that we left behind. Like in Texas, we say, don't leave any child behind. So let us wait for these other Biafrans who would not see the bridge until they get to the bridge. Because we all need to work in unity to achieve Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu alone cannot get Biafra. IPOB alone cannot get Biafra. Uwazirike alone cannot get Biafra. Groupman alone cannot. All of us have to work together. And not until the day all of us work together, Biafra will still elude us. So that is what I want to say.
Yes, sir. Honestly, two weeks ago, sir, 2 weeks ago, I was seated with Chief Dr. Raf Wazirike 101, and he told me in plain language that the beauty of this our independence quest is multiplicity of different groups. A kind of being hydra-headed. Once you cut off one head, others will begin to function. Continue to function. But what is important is for all of us to have a common purpose, common definition, Biafra. That once we talk of Biafra and commit our body and flesh, blood and whatever to it. Now, from whatever angle we're talking about Biafra, the world will take us serious. And the Nigeria will say, we know that we are speaking with one voice. Take, for example, what happened, I think yesterday, sir. Peter Obi went to, no, I say it's a kind of example. I'm talking about the unity of purpose in Igbo area. Now, Peter Obi went to campaign in one of the markets, Igbo-dominated market in Abuja. After addressing the Igbos, he was going, and then some APC people intentionally blocked his convoy, threatening him with fire and brimstone. Provoked, there was a kind of Igbo solidarity. What, sir? I remember, sir, there was a time you said that at any time we hear Nzobu, Igbos will bury their differences. You have always said that, sir. So, at that point in time, there was Nzobu sound. Igbos buried their differences and came out in mass and bought the entire vehicles belonging to APC that were trying to terrorize P2B. It's a type of Igbo solidarity we want. Yes, come in, please. Just a second.
Right.
So, what we're saying is a type of solidarity we want, not a question of you call for a meeting of all the groups. Others will agree, and a particular group will say, oh, I am the supreme consultant. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. So you have to give respect to whom it is due, respect the Biafra diaspora, those at home, then seek everybody's opinion. And once we take a decision, what we call ohacracy, once we take that decision within the level of ohacracy, which is binding on everybody, and the thing is going to shake Nigeria. That is true. Yeah, somebody wants to say something.
Yeah, this is another from Biafra land. On this issue, there is nobody says that we have and the word of God says in the Bible that not all those who come in Lord will enter into the kingdom of God.
That's right. Thank you.
The same time, Christ says that very day many will come. I do this in your name, I do that in your name.
You will send them away.
Get behind me, you workers of iniquity. That you come up and start shouting Biafra does not mean that you are a Biafra.
Yeah.
Check right from the origin, Nnamdi Kanu started his struggle. He has never for one day say a single truth or did anything for the betterment of Biafra or for the progress of Biafra. Rather, either he brought death or he brought disappointment on one thing or the other. How many of our brothers has been sent road packing from Europe, from many countries because of Nnamdi? Even the one he went and championed by himself. When somebody like Jonathan Okoro had problem, he was jubilating in his radio, saying that you think that he was telling Jonathan, you thought that you are in the same level with me. And his members were jumping up.
You see, that is what we are talking about, supremacy.
Supremacy struggle.
Yeah, that is supremacy struggle. And people who really don't know, like what you said, I concur completely for exactly what you said. Those who have been shouting Biafra, 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 not all of them are really for Biafra. Yes. Not all of them can stand today for Biafra. Yes, I agree with you completely. You are very much right. Continue.
Okay, excuse me, sir. Sonny, hold on. Sir, you are aware of this Oka axis of the Biafra struggle. And just to say about Biafra, they are agents of politicians, but they use Biafra to have their way.
Yes, but what can we do?
That's a good question. Yes.
Yeah, but
what can we do?
No, yes, sir.
What I would say, our best reaction to that is a distraction. We should continue seeking for Biafra and ignore all those distractions.
Yes.
For instance, I was in the United States towards the ending of Black civil rights agitation, and there were a lot of women who were against us. The elite women, they were saying we are causing more trouble for them, that we should all remain under white supremacy. But we continued our struggle. We did not go to argue or fight with them. We left them. But do you know what those women are doing today in the country? They are confessing that they didn't know what they were doing then. I have been to a church, Baptist church. A black woman stood up and said, I am one of those who was fighting Martin Luther King. Then he was a bad man. But now I see the beauty of what he did. So that's all I will say to the other group. So
hello,
let
sir.
us ignore them.
Hello,
let
sir.
us continue with our push. Let us continue. Focus on what do we do next?
Yeah, hello, sir.
How can we bring everybody together? What do we do next? Let's focus on that. Forget about what Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, okay, sir. You asked us what do we do. Let us hear HS now.
I want to come into that.
Let us hear from the one here. HS, go on.
Yeah, thank you. Like our brother who said something about if we don't come together, that Biafra will remain
a mirage.
Joke.
Yes.
I want to point out something. I want to correct something there. Once there are people who are making things right and other people are making it wrong, believe me that it will become right since there are few people who see the light.
Yeah.
We are Igbos. You can now give an example about what happened to be in Abuja. Look, Igbos are Igbos. We have the Igbo blood wherever you see us. We fight for each other wherever you see us. Despite that, there are people who came in to destroy Igbo image. This is their mission on earth, to destroy Igbo image, to let people say Igbo doesn't love themselves. I could remember around 1992 when we were having problem at Idumota Lagos. Serious problem with Yoruba people. One early morning we woke up, all we see everywhere was about 40 luxurious buses from Onisha, sent by our elders, our leaders, to come and fight for us. Everybody was surprised seeing luxurious bus everywhere at Ido Park. They spent almost 1 week in Lagos. They instantly destroy a lot of people who are fighting against us, and nothing happened. Even when the Nigerian army came with their bullets and guns, Igbo youth were naked, telling them that if you want to support us to fight this wickedness, join us. If you are not ready, go back to barracks with your gun. This is Igbo's mindset. This is Igbo's kind of heart.
Exactly.
And again, there are some issues when, like when we are there are sometimes we will set a fight and we target somebody. we set a fight, and once that person comes inside that fight, we allow them to beat him up and down because he is the reason why we set that fight. That's exactly what is happening in Biafra struggle now. Nandekano and his IPOB set a wrong fight against Biafra, and once you come once you come in to support them in that fight, they will join hands with enemy to beat you hands down.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
destroy your faith.
You are very much right.
Because they set this trap to destroy Biafra struggle. Because when you are hitting badly, you never come back. I want to make something clear here for some of us who don't know what is happening. Most of our youth who were arrested, who were brutalized by Nigeria and we are planned by the people who are claim to be fighting for Biafra. And they did listen to them for them to close their mouth, for them never to mention Biafra again. For them, even let's be clear to this issue. Let's be straightforward. Proscribing our people terrorists is not a Nigerian government issue. It's not about Nigerian government or about politicians. It is a game that they want to destroy Biafra issue, anything about Biafra, that we are terrorists. They have a lot of inner game they are playing. That's why you come out, they shoot you. And let me put it very clear, for those who want to get it right, or for those who want to blame me, but I want to put it clear. They have made this plan, they have made this meeting in secret that they will shoot direct to the people so that they will stop talking about Biafra. And the leaders knows about it, and when they shoot them, the same people who make the meeting in the night to shoot them will be the one on the radio shouting and blaming the Nigerian government. Like I said earlier, I used to say earlier, like this coming up election, I have made my own blame already. I have made my own condemnation already to Nigerian government and Nigerian army through my own people. Don't go out there to mess up. Don't go out to the voting booth to mess up there. If you go out there and mess up, they shoot you, you are on your own, you committed suicide. But somebody will ask you, go and carry the ballot box, go and then disrupt the election, and you go there and shoot you.
And their children are in overseas studying, and they will not bring their children back to come and carry the ballot. Anyway,
yeah, okay. Let us hear Dr. Ejika, sir.
Let me just say something to Dr. Eze. Ejika. Doctor, please, there is something that is also bothering me about you people in America.
In diaspora generally.
In diaspora.
We are part of it anyway.
Yeah, of course. But I think we are contributing our own quota too.
Yeah.
Because if other people are not doing, I can say I'm contributing my own quota too. You people have been there for a very long time, and then you hold so many good positions in that America. And before I continue, I just want to give you one example about what happened in Abakaliki one time that was circulated in social media when two gentlemen went to Abakaliki, in the area of Abakaliki. They discovered that half of the land was lost to invaders or
to herdsmen
and all that. That land was not allocated to anybody. And then in fact, if you look at that place, it was like a desert. And then they went there and then occupied the land. And in fact, gradually they are growing. And you know, of course, they have 2, 3, 4, 5 wives.
And the governor is compromising with them.
Yeah. Before you know it, they have 100 children, one person. And then you know what will become the fate of that area. I am saying that you people that has been in America and other places, what effort are you really people making to come back home and establish and also give out what God has given to you? You people are very, very intelligent. You are intellectuals. You have everything it takes to come back home and then give out these things that these gifts that God has given to you people. It's not always staying in America, enjoying all the good roses, all the good things in America, enjoying the light, good ride, good homes and all that, having your children there. How will you make Biafra possible if you don't come back and then bring back that particular gift that God has given to you? Please, sir, this question is for you, sir.
Go ahead, I'm with you.
Yeah, he asking the contributions of Biafran Americans in this our struggle. For the very fact that you are close to the seat of power, a place that the decision is taken and is binding.
Thank you, brother, fellow Biafran, for that question. See, in America, what I found out, what I discovered, there are two types of Africans in Biafran Africans in America. There's one group that says, "Oh, I don't want to participate. If I participate, when I go home, Buhari will send somebody to kill me." Then there is another group that said, "Oh, I don't care. I'm already in America." But let me tell you one thing. There are few of us, for instance, most of us who fought in the war, like Dr. Apamefuna, Dr. Dume, Dr. Ahanotu, we fought in the war as children. We were in class 3 secondary school. We marched from the classroom in Port Harcourt and went to Bonny battlefield. And from that day, I was in the battlefield until January 6, 1970. So it's not that we are not worried by what is happening. But we have several groups. There is one group that is talking with an international lawyer, the world reclaimed lawyer, Bruce Fine. This lawyer helped Southern Sudan to get their independence. And he is very much familiar with civil rights and agitation for self-government of indigenous people. But what is holding us back now with him is coming together so that we can raise the money for him to do the good work. So, coming back to Nigeria, I cannot come back to Nigeria. I will not come back to Nigeria. I will only come if we get Biafra. If we don't get Biafra, I've already bought my grave land. I'll be buried in America. I follow the Americans to struggle to make America what it is. I will only come back to Africa with Biafra. And we have many people. Dr. Afamekuna is a world-renowned cardiologist. We have Dr. Achike. We have Ahanotu. So we have, if today Biafra is declared, we will beat Nigeria within the first 3 years. Biafra will be like Japan. I'm not boasting. We have the people. In most of Biafran families, we have our children who have medical doctors.
If I may come in here, sir, please, if I may come in here before you continue. I'm disturbed, by what you have just said. If you people cannot come back, and because
we are replied to that.
Yes, so who is going to continue to fight for this Biafra if we cannot get your knowledge and be on the ground to direct other people who are not so intelligent enough, to fight for this cause? Because we need you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Please continue.
Let me give you an example. What's his name? This guy of Ghana fought for Ghana to get independence from abroad. We are fighting with you, but we don't come to the street to demonstrate. Mm-hmm. We are doing something. We are working with congressmen and congresswomen who love black people. And we are fighting with you, but we are not on the street with you.
Exactly.
That's the only difference.
Okay, sir. Now,
we are contributing money.
Okay, sir.
We are contributing money. We are contributing our intelligence. We are contributing ourselves. But it's few of us. There are other people who don't care, but there are people who care.
So have you been able to sensitize these people, sir?
Let me correct one thing. We can't get Biafra from you all inside Nigeria.
We agree.
We kill all of you.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree.
But all of us outside know this, and that's why we will be the ones to get Biafra.
Now,
but we will get it with your help.
You remember, sir, a week or two ago, sir, I had a chat with you on the social media, and we agreed on certain things, whereby the diaspora will play dominant role in mobilizing our people outside. And when it comes to issue of Bruce Fine to address us on this our vobi BBA, now we make necessary arrangement on how to raise this particular money he's talking about and hand over to him so that he will start everything as we expect. Now, but we are banking on the diaspora Biafra because people are there with him. So it is the move people make. You know, remember, I told you some time ago, sir, that it would be quite ideal if the diaspora will be in touch with Chief Dr. Rafu Wazirike.
That's right.
You know, who is home based, who knows the pulse of the people. And if it comes to issue of sponsorship, he is always there at our beck and call. But the problem we have with some of our diaspora people is pride. Is pride. Pride is a problem.
No, moderator, can I cut in?
Okay, sir.
Moderator, can I cut in?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to, the reason why I called you now, give you some messages.
Okay,
deliver
sir.
some messages to you.
Yes, sir.
I have moved from where I was before on that issue.
Okay.
They want to talk to Wazirike.
Yes.
But Wazirike knows some of them, and some of them know Wazirike. And they had a bitter transaction last time. And I'm telling them it's not going to be like
for the sake of Biafra, we must bury the hatchet.
We are going to.
Yes, sir. For the sake of Biafra, sir, for the sake of Biafra, we must bury the hatchet.
After this discussion, you and I and people who are interested will be in what we call executive session.
Okay, sir.
And then I tell you what the situation is.
Because
they are waiting.
Because at a point, sir,
they are waiting.
Yes, sir. At a point, sir, the Hamas and the Fatah in Palestine had to come together. And the very moment they came together, you see, they had that international recognition and they have a seat at the United Nations right now.
Yeah.
So why is our own different? This is why what we are saying that we have to bury the hatchet for the sake of Biafra. If we continue to harbor individual or group animosity, it's not going to augur well for us. Is it what we're going to bequeath to our children?
Right.
For example, sir, you fought the war. Some of your colleagues fought the war, and you are now in the States of America. If at the end of the day, some of our people, veterans who fought the war, are buried in foreign land, the enemy has defeated us forever. Don't you think so, sir?
Well, you are right, but rather than for me to be buried in Nigeria, I prefer to be buried.
We forbid that. We would want a situation where we get this Biafra so that our veterans will come back home to celebrate with us and tell us their experiences. Remember, sir, people in Biafra land now have not heard from you their experiences in the battlefield. So we are looking forward to such a situation or time when some of you will come back, you know, to be part of the conviviality that's a Biafra independence. And then you tell us your stories, we write our history. So this is why we are asking everybody to come together. Let us forget past misunderstandings or animosities for the sake of Biafra, for the sake of our children and our children's children. Yeah. This is what we are saying.
And then secondly, sir, what I'm trying to
what I'm contributing,
what I'm trying to contribute, sir, is that there is already a structure.
Yeah, go ahead.
And somebody, like I said, there is already a structure, and somebody is in charge of this structure. If we forget to communicate with this person that's in charge of this structure,
the home base,
how do you think that we are going to move forward?
That's a problem. Because whoever controls the base controls the top. Yes, sir. Whoever in charge of whoever controls the base controls the top. That is absolute. And sir, there were certain things I pointed out to you. Some of the structures being put in place right now, all the zones in Biafra land, Chief Wazirike is putting up structures, every part of Biafra land. Very soon I will make the pictures available to you, sir. Now, these are the things we want.
Thank you, moderate Egron.
Yes.
And then he's also employing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. So,
thank you, brothers.
Yes,
thank you, fellow Biafrans.
Yeah,
see, what you all have said is correct. But when you are in civil rights movement or civil rights agitation, also make room for Ndikwe, Ndiekwe.
Exactly. That is true, sir.
You are very much right.
We agree with you, sir. 100% we agree with you.
You are very, very much.
Yes. Okay, sir, let me give you one good news as well. For the past 2 weeks, some other group agitators in this our struggle have been reaching out to me, and they have been talking about reconciliation. They are talking about reconciliation now because we are right now at the threshold of this our particular independence. And the sooner we came together to fight as one family, the better for us. But if we continue this discordant tones, the enemy will penetrate our stronghold, and we wouldn't want it that way. So, sir, we are looking forward to you people bringing Bruce Fine to our studio to talk to us and discuss with the home base to see possibility of contributing to the whole exercise, monetary, financial wise. This is what we are saying. Every hand must be on deck. Every hand must be on deck because this 2019 is going to determine a lot of things in Nigeria and for Biafra. So if we fail to put our house in order, we might be taken on our ways.
Yeah, you are 100% right. So you all have been saying the right thing. But let us kind of analyze all that we've said. Let us put it in a strategic format. Mm-hmm. What do we do next? That's my question. Let us kind of list it, outline it. With these people, you do this person, you do this, and then put back on this day. Let's do it that way.
Yes, sir.
Because already I've been talking to some people about getting back together.
Yes, sir.
And they complained a whole lot about Wazirike. I said, but Biafra is not about Wazirike.
And he says it, yes.
Then I asked them, do you know the person by name Dr. Ikedife? They said, yeah, he died. I said, yeah, Dr. Ikedife is no more. He's gone. He's played his role. The same will be said of all of us. One day I would go. The next day somebody else will go. So now that we are here, let us play a role like Shakespeare said.
Yeah, and sir, I must be honest with you. There are some people who pass judgment from distances away. This is the problem. And again, somebody initiated something, sponsoring something, and somebody wants to say, okay, let me grab it and be the principal actor. It doesn't all go well that way. Now, when some of these people who pass judgment on Wazirike are passing this judgment from far away, just like the Europeans who sat in Europe writing the history of Africa. They don't give us the accurate history. So when they come back home, discuss with him, they find a common ground. But if they continue to base their judgment on him on propaganda, then there must be disunity all the time. So we want a situation where we come back together, ask questions, discuss with one another, find there could be a thesis and the antithesis, but all we want is a common ground, a kind of synthesis. We're going to synthesize everything. So when we do this, now we say, okay, this person, this is their own role, this person, this is their own role, and once we finish, come and give us feedback, and then we move on.
Like what you said, if we are going to have an executive, that will be responsible in bringing these people together, that would be very beautiful. And then you people in America, you first and foremost, like what you said, you have been working underground and be talking to other people in order to see reason why they should respect the structure that we have at home base.
Okay, let me welcome our people online here now. Let me welcome Kingsley Jofo is there, of course. Chinedu Joseph is there. Chinemerem Pasi is there. Onyekachi Onye Best, Chris Uche. Tony is there. Uku Benjamin, of course, is there. Obala Akunna, of course, there. Ojuku Samuel is monitoring. Favor Osuala. Chid Isaac. Let me see. Peter Obi, of course, is there. Meliru Samuel is there. Let me see. Obasi Wilson is there. Kingsley Anomaka, of course, is there. Chigozie Egwon, equally there monitoring. Of course, some of them are making their comments, some are encouraging, some are dissuading. It's always like that. There is no easy road to freedom. Motala Buro is there. Great Henry equally is there. Igba Ike, Michael Chukwu, lot of them, Okafor James, Sunday Abba, Patrick Ozemene, Michael Angelo, Stephen Eke, Onyekachi Nnadi, Joseph Ebulem, Chinyere Ikechukwu, Casimir Ugu, Joseph Stephen, Emmanuel Nnadi, of course, is there. Chisco Ede, Charles Adindu, Ted Sunday, Okorie, Olebe, and many more others. All these people are monitoring the broadcast live from their various locations. We say welcome to all of you. But yeah, somebody wanted to say something by word of contribution to what Dr. Ejika is saying.
Yeah, like
is that Sonny or Uchenna or Chesina or Sunday Uti or Judy Chijoke? I don't know who was trying to say something. Okay.
Yeah, like what Ejika is saying, based on the people that knows what the people from America there, but they are complaining. The issue is this. Never in a sin of the issue is this. We know some of them. And at the same time, what UK has given them open mind for us to work as brothers. But they find it difficult. I can give you one example of where we have a Biafra Foundation, a Biafra Actualization Forum in the US. You understand? Everything that happens there, it was encouraged to carry out your sense. If there is any necessary help they needed, our leader always sponsor everything they do over there in the US. You know, when Ojukwu and our leader came up here to come and commission and meet you at the office here. But the issue is that they wanted to a kind of
hijack power.
Why hijack power? Why this thing is a voluntary something that we are fighting for the liberation of our nation. And you want to first of all want to hijack power.
And then from what you are saying, if our leader is not a honest leader, our late Biafran leader would not have handed everything over to him. This is exactly what we must be looking into.
You see, vobi was established, I think, in 2000 here in the States. That when Chifu Wazika stopped sponsoring it, vobi crumbled. How come that people in diaspora could not maintain vobi until it was brought down to Germany here to continue functioning?
Once he stopped sponsoring,
sorry, service is fairly at your own end. Yes, sir. We're hearing you.
It looks like, if I may say something, let us focus more on what to do.
Okay.
The decision on how to go about our problems.
Yes.
Rather than
apportioning blames.
The structure.
Okay. Rather than apportioning blames.
Or the structure.
Yes, sir.
Whether for me, personally for me, you all don't know my background. You all don't know me. I went to war. If you've been to Port Harcourt, I went to war through Alisa, LMA. I walked and went to war front. But I came back through a river. The river left me on a creek water side in Port Harcourt. How it happened, I don't know. I can't explain it. But all the other Port Harcourt boys I went with got drowned. Or the river dropped me at a creek water side. If you all know, I went to a war on land, but I came back by a river. So anybody can be like Amdi he's supreme military commander. He was Smith, he's president of Biafra. It doesn't. I am not worried. What I want is Biafra. And if Biafra is gotten, yes, I will help come back to contribute my own quota to set up this system. But if we don't get Biafra in my lifetime, I will die, happily die.
We shall get Biafra. We would like those of you that fought to save us to come back and be part of raising our flag. It's what will give us joy.
And then, sir,
So what you have been saying, they brought this to me. They brought that to me. That Wazirike wants to be at the head always. He doesn't want to be changed.
No,
he
sir.
wants to be
Sir,
accepted. Let's not worry about
this is people carry out campaign of
I tell
calumny.
you what we say.
No, sir. People carry out campaign of calumny. Assuming I wasn't in Biafra land in the last 1 month, I'll be believing some of the things they say. But these are people, like I said earlier on, who sit in faraway Europe and begin to write history of West Africa. It doesn't all go well. We would want a situation where people come back to the base, come back to Biafra land, confer with our Biafran, principle, and let us find a common ground. But when they are scattered in different parts of the world,
I agree.
without knowing what is happening, this is where it's not provoking. Right now, sir, like I said earlier, a lot of administrative blocks are being put in place in every zone in Biafra land by Chief Dr. Rafu Wazirike. Now, these people who are first-class critics, I begin to wonder when they will come and give assistance, even by word of logistics, to all these things. So, but we would want a situation where, like I said earlier on, for the sake of Biafra, we should stop apportioning blames and come back to the pioneer gentleman and say, what do we do? Through devolution of power or assignments or functions or duties. Now, we contribute our quota.
Okay.
Yeah, but excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. There is something because this argument, I don't see any basis on this argument.
No, we are
to start with, when people say that they want to be on top all the time, for Christ's sake, this is the person that is in control of the home base. You cannot give leadership to somebody who is in America. You cannot give leadership to somebody who is in Spain because he doesn't know what is happening on the ground.
That is true.
But this man is on the ground
and taking the shot.
And then taking the shot. So he is the one that is responsible for everything. So if you want to be a partner to him, if you want to assist him, all you need to do is to come down and then see what this man has done.
Okay, sir. So you're aware that last year,
the most important
a team of International Red Cross visited him at Owerri to confer with him on this Biafra issue. You're aware of it? I think twice last year.
Okay, see
yes.
Yeah. What we need to do is let's hold some kind of get together and iron all this out. Because the last week I made it.
Yes. And you remember I told you last time, sir. You remember, sir? Yeah, sir. You remember I whispered to you a week ago that he said, he whispered to me equally back home in Biafra land, that if the diaspora Biafra would wake up and discuss this issue of Bruce Fine very, very well and commit themselves to it, they should tell him what it will cost to settle Bruce Fine to address Biafrans. That is enough commitment. That is enough commitment. If for somebody to have said this without asking anybody to contribute or whatever, what else are we talking about? Honesty or sincerity?
And then, excuse me, sir. Anybody who is struggling for leadership, let me tell
you. Not honest.
Let me just say it categorically clear.
Yeah.
Anybody who is looking or struggling for leadership has another intention, because you cannot be in overseas, in diaspora, and then looking for a leadership that is already in a Biafran land. And this is the person that started it. He knows every pros and cons.
We don't want absentee leaders.
So we don't want absentee leaders. If anybody wants to struggle for Biafra independence, first and foremost, we have already a structure. And you have to abide by this structure. It is when you abide by this structure, you can now make changes. But at the moment, we have a leader there. And anybody who wants to change that leadership has to be part and parcel of the people in the Biafran land. Not in America, not anywhere. You cannot remote us.
What diaspora will be doing is diplomacy, international diplomacy. Making friends of other nations, telling them, in the event of Biafra, if you assist us to get Biafra, they are going to help us build our airport or seaport or this or that. Now, we have a MOU with them, and then they assist us. But if we begin now to say we want to hijack leadership, those people don't want Biafra to progress.
Exactly, this is what we are having. The problem we are having
Exactly.
today with IPOB, with all these people, they are looking for
there
leadership.
There can't be two leaders or two captains at a time.
It cannot.
At a time.
It can never.
Yeah.
When Ojukwu was there was no leader. You fought for Biafran war. We had only one leader at that time. There was no other person that struggled to take over from Ojukwu. He was there until the war ended. And when he came back, he was also
reinstated.
And he was there until his death. Before he died, he handed it over to somebody who is also on the ground. And that structure has been there.
And excuse me, sir, let me make it abundantly clear. Chief Uwasike is not even laying claim to leadership of Biafra. It is the people around, because of his own contributions, commitments, and sincerity, that are saying, okay, you are our leader. But when you meet him, he's a simple man, simple to the core. On occasions when I was with him at Owode in the last 2 to 3 weeks, he was wearing ordinary sandal slippers. No, that is it. By word of simplicity. To tell that he's a simple gentleman. So, but people from somewhere begin to write a history of someone they do not know. If you meet him, sir, you fall in love with this gentleman, to be honest with you. He discusses gently, cool, making you to understand his own point of view, and he takes time to equally listen to you. He admits suggestions or whatever at all. But those who do not know him, I have better aptly described it. These are the earlier Europeans who came to Africa and told us they discovered the river Niger. The very river our forefathers were fetching water from. An European came to say he discovered the river Niger. It is the same type of people we are having today. Yeah. They should come back home and join the base.
Take over the leadership if they want to take over.
Exactly.
The leadership. Let them live with us in Biafran land and then take over the leadership. Tell people what they want to know and how you want to build Biafra. You cannot be in diaspora. You cannot be in America or Canada or anywhere and you are struggling for leadership when there is already a structure.
It's just like today.
No, I cannot take that.
It's just like today. In the former times when Igbo land was Igbo land, every traditional ruler used to live with some people. But today, somebody is ruling Port Harcourt, he's living at Enugu. Yeah. Somebody is ruling Enugu, he's living in Makurdi.
And you don't know what is happening in your community.
It doesn't every time they call you to telephone him, come back home, there is problem in the land. It doesn't all go well.
And Oracle, what you are saying is just very simple.
Yeah.
Look at even this governorship, all these states, you look at it, we have all the governors, you have all the senators. Do you know that these people don't go to their constituency?
At all.
Every time, even the governors, every time you see them, they are in Abuja house. Yes. They leave all the things that they're supposed to do with their community. Some of them
fly the helicopter, the airplanes, without passing through the roads to know how bad the roads are.
How can you
and they want to be leaders.
No. We cannot take that, please. Anybody who wants to be part of us has to be on the ground. And then to know
the diaspora will play the international diplomacy.
That's
that
right.
Is the role.
That's all.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You have a point. It's one of the things we're going to discuss when we have this.
Thank you very much.
But what you just stated is a very vital point.
Exactly.
Want to be at the head is willing to relinquish to you, but you have to stay in Nigeria.
Yes, I will be very much happier to see those people and talk to them one-on-one and then ask them what they really need. If they need leadership, like what you said, Uwazurike is not looking for leadership.
At all.
Let them come back and take control of leadership and then do exactly what the leader is supposed to do.
Do more.
That's all we need.
Now, somebody wants to make a contribution, yes?
Okay, hold on again. Let's set up a group to come up with job description of the leader.
Yes, sir.
So that when next we meet, we say this is the job description. Whoever wants to do it, get ready to go and live in nowhere. Or live in Oka.
Or anywhere. Or Port Harcourt.
Exactly. I agree with you, sir.
And if you are ready, the job is open.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Exactly.
Then you can take over.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody wants to make a contribution.
That's what we want.
Yeah. Somebody wants to say something. Yes. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Sonny Bobo can go.
Yeah, so let us set up
let us hear you. Somebody wants to make a contribution.
Sorry, but we are hearing you. Yeah. Like what I'm saying is that, like when Owajike, before he started the struggle, he was there with Ojuku. He is not the only person that comes to Ojuku, that was under Ojuku there. But because of his humility, he forgot to be called.
His antecedents
At the end
too.
of the day, before he started the struggle, he spent close to 10 years with Ojuku. And at the same time, there is one thing that happens. Abandoned at Nigeria. Ojuku.
No, Sonny, where are you? Yes.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, Sonny, excuse me, Sonny.
Yeah.
Sonny. In fact, this point you're making, I briefed Dr. Ejika last time. Doctor, remember I briefed you on this on rehabilitation of Biafra war veterans who were languishing at Oji River. Yes, I briefed you, sir.
Yes.
And you really commended the efforts of Wazika on that ground. Yes, so that's what he's trying to say. All of them are enjoying their flats now at Okwe. No more languishing at Oji River as beggars.
I agree.
Yes.
But you see, I thought we arrived at the point. I thought we were trying to get somewhere. Yeah. I agree with all that Wazirika has done.
Yes.
Let us set up a group to draw up
exactly.
draft.
Okay, sir. Now, sir, what will happen is you have to help us over there in diaspora. You have to help us. Once we get the people, we now hold a kind of conference chat, which is not going to be on radio line. Yeah. And then we take decision. We can decide to say, oh, where do we meet? Either in Portugal or in Spain or anywhere.
We can even come to America. Yes, no problem.
Then we can even, in the sense, we can come. All of us have documents that can fly us to America. Then we can discuss and take decision.
Yeah,
he is there to sponsor all our. He tells me this from time to time. I'm on 24 hours with him. That he is prepared to sponsor any move that is Biafra oriented.
Yeah.
And that is absolute.
Yeah, because if we continue to discuss on this particular issue, then we will not end it up.
We want
the most important thing is to take action.
Action.
If they really want leadership, there are points, there are things we have to lay down for anybody who wants to take over from Wazirike. There is no doubt about that. He has said it.
Let's commit it to writing.
That's right.
Let's commit those things to writing. Let's commit those things to writing.
That's right.
So that you have your own fit, have mine.
That's right. Let that person come and see what Wazirike have done so far, and then see where he is going to take off from there, and then become a leader of Biafra.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry about what Wazirike has done. I am not bringing him down. All I'm saying, let's commit what we want from our leader in black and white.
Okay,
and then lay it open. You want to be a leader? Can you fulfill all this role?
Yes.
If you can, no problem. The position is open.
Exactly, sir. Thank you, sir. That is a very good idea. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, exactly, sir. What you said is true. Yes. I don't know. Somebody's online to make contribution. Is that Jude or so? I don't know who is there.
Yeah, this is Jude.
Okay.
Can I go on?
Yeah, go on.
Please. Okay. I'm quite impressed from the whole discussion, including most especially from Ejirika's
Dr. Ejirika, please.
Yeah, Dr. Ejirika contribution, because he has been our guest for very
long time. Ejirika.
Yes. We have really learned a lot from him. Sometimes I buy his ideas, while sometimes I don't. But in this particular area, where my actually goes is that a lot of people were not happy when they say that Chief Dr. Ralph Wazirike is the leader of Biafra, or some people addressed him as the president of Biafra, and I see some people who never regard Biafra as anything. I see people who never, at any given time, say something good concerning Biafra. They just started criticizing, saying all sorts kinds of things, in regard of the same Biafra, forgetting that it was this same Chief Dr. Ralph Wazirike that brought Biafra, the new Biafra that they
reignited what we have forgotten.
What that's the same Biafra that they are proud of right now.
it's even an honor to those who fought the war. That somebody came up to
What are you talking?
So now my point was now like, if the same man who brought back the idea that is almost dead, that people were afraid to talk of, do you think that the same, in calling the person a leader, I don't think there's anything.
And then even suffered for it, went to prison for it and all that.
Nobody is contesting that. What Dr. Ejika is saying that
we have to
that leadership is all accommodating, which he is. I think Dr. Ejika has said it all, that we are going to have a kind of leadership committee
I'll be very, very
to take some
happy to be part of
decisions
this,
and then pass it across and implement such decisions. And I think he was quite, and we quite agree with him. So, but such things are not what we're going to discuss on air. The doctor, you know very well.
Yeah.
We're not going to discuss those things on air because everybody, the world is monitoring us.
We will be very happy to
we'll
even come to America and then have these people, talk with them, and then we can iron out things.
Yes.
That is what we were. Like you said, Prof, you made a very important statement there that everything has to be written down. So the condition of leadership will be written
Spelled
down.
out.
So if anybody who wants to take over that leadership from the present president of Biafra
We'll be ready to work.
will be ready to work.
Yeah.
And they work like a
So,
president.
just to conclude what we are saying.
In conclusion, like you have said, Dr. Ejika have also, made a lot of points in terms of ensuring that we will be able to come together and, iron out communities that will guide us in further. Because in the back, when I say years back from 2001, 2003, I'm a very good listener. I follow the VOBI in the one of Washington, D.C. that broadcast for about 7 years or so. So I know that the intellectuals that we have in the United States, most especially the Biafra Foundation and the Biafra Actualization Forum, they played a very big role at that particular point. And we know the effort that they offered at that particular. But as time goes on, we started seeing people that a lot of things that went wrong, which I can't really explain much on that area. But I'm happy. That with the help of Dr. Ejika, that we'll be able to at least gather these best brains that are there in the United States, so we can be able to work together, because it is all about working together. If you work with Chief Dr. Ralph Mazuki, I don't think anybody will regret it. He's the man that brought Biafra to where it is. He wants the best for Biafra. He wants the best for Biafrans. So I think that is where my own point plays on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jojo, for that wonderful contribution. It's almost 2 hours we commenced this particular evening broadcast. And don't forget, you listeners, viewers, from the studios of the Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority, City of Munich, Germany, we are live with you. With us online is Dr. Mazi Peter Ejika from the States of America. Of course, 21 is here with me. Julie Chijoke is online. Sorry, Emmanuel Wabisi equally online. Uchenna Okeke online. Of course, Sunday OT is there monitoring, and HS na Udeze in faraway Japan, very early in the morning, waking up to discuss with us. So, all the gentlemen online to make sure that we keep you updated. You want to say something? Yeah, HS now.
Yeah, thank you so much. I thank you once again, and thank our senior brother and father, Dr. Ejika, who is communicating with us in America. I heard his contribution, and also I appreciate him too. I heard him and one other person talking about coming together of Biafra groups. We have been discussing this thing from time to time now. It is no longer a news that there are people who never want to come together with others. Sometimes I make it very clear that time will come when we will not longer call IPOB leadership or group or coming for unity or for coming together because they are not ready to do that for their personal security reasons. Although they will give you one stupid reason that these people are from APC, the other person is a Nigerian politician and this and that. We need unity. Truly, we need unity. We need to do that. But for those who are ready to come, to people who are not ready, we can't wait for them. We have to move forward. As we are moving now, as we are now working hard with vobi radio to make sure that things normalize itself. We should not even if Wazirike and Massob decided to pull out from Biafra struggle tomorrow, that will not stop Biafra from coming. I say it again. Even if Shufuraf, Wazirike, and the entire Massob decided to quit the struggle of Biafra, that will not stop Biafra from coming. Not to talk about when one group who is not even needed, who is not responsible to stop talking about Biafra. Anybody can pull out, but this is our time for us to restore our contact. Anybody can join in. You know, when a football match is played, at the end of the game, at final stage, those that win the cup, every member of the team must have the word. Because even if the player was on the bench throughout the competition, his name is among, he has to go home with equal gift to others. Same thing is applicable in this struggle. For those of us who are involved, who are fighting for it, at the end of the day, everybody is going to get the word. For those of us who doesn't want to fight for it, that's no case. We don't have anything to fight with anybody. But all we need to do is to tell everybody the truth. Speak out the truth to our people to understand it, to hear it very clear. Because forcing someone who is not serious about this struggle, forcing him to come together for unity is another thing. We are creating another problem. So we have done a lot to make sure we carry everybody along. We have done everything humanly possible. So for those who want to go with us, we go together. Those who doesn't want to go, we don't need to force them. I've been involved in this unity and concentration meeting and coming together of all Biafra group in several ways, in several times. But they come up with one fake excuse, trying to call other people saboteurs.
Okay, that's up tonight.
So this is time for us to be. This is time for us to understand who our enemies are.
If I may cut in there, if I may cut in there, that it does not work before does not mean it will not work.
It will always work.
So that's
okay, thank you very much. And let me welcome.
Sorry, please. Let me put this clear. It will not work the way we think because there are reasons why those people who doesn't want to be together doesn't want to be together. I said this earlier. It can never work that way. It will work, but there are groups who will be pulled out completely because they will never ever in their life come together.
But it cannot stop. It cannot stop the struggle.
Okay, let us welcome Charles. Okay, let us welcome Chisco there right now. We welcome Charles Adindoso, Ted Sunday, Okorie Onebe, Obonna Chidi. We welcome you, of course, Kene Namoko. We welcome you, Ijoma Obasi, Ifeanyi Awa. We welcome you, Bright Chinezie, Ebube Jesus. You know by this name. We welcome you, Forte Jelekano, Oga. We welcome all of you to this our evening broadcast from the studio Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority. Let us go to the cell for now. We take it that way. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for viewing. We thank you for listening. We thank especially Dr. Mazi Peter Ejike for joining us from the States of America to make his own wonderful contributions. We are tied to him by compulsory gratitude. We thank Echezena, who is always at work every morning to join us in this broadcast from the state of Japan. We thank him 1,000 times. Judy Chijoke is never relenting. He is always up to date. Being with us at an hour when we so much need him, we equally thank him. And also Uchenna Okeke, who combines membership of the BBA vobi with that of the security. We are indeed appreciative. We hope that when Biafra comes, all their names shall occupy the prologue. We also thank Sunny Emmanuel Abekmabisi, who is always there at the seat of power, providing us with current information. We must never fail to appreciate their contributions. We thank every Biafran who is always there with us. We thank Chief Dr. Rafu Wazike, more especially making it possible for us to have this particular platform to discuss with our people. We talk to them, they talk to us back, and we find a common ground. To members of the bim-massob who are always there supporting for your own indomitable courage amidst threatening infinitude. We thank you at all times, and we always say, never relent. Biafra is there with us. It is our own Zion, and we must march towards it fearlessly unfeared. That when we are there, nothing but conviviality shall be our predominant emotion. From the studios, Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority, I am Ikenna Obibiagoro saying, thank you, remain blessed, and until we meet again. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night and goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.